The grand hall of the Zephyrian Empire stretched before Jack like a cathedral made of living crystal. Bioluminescent veins pulsed through the walls, casting an ethereal glow across the assembled dignitaries from a dozen star systems. He stood among the human delegation, feeling distinctly out of place in his simple dress. Uniform while alien nobility draped themselves in gravity-defying silks and photonic jewelry, Queen Velshara of Zephyr Prime commanded the center platform, her forearms gesturing in obvious distress. Her crystalline carapace, normally a brilliant azure, had dulled to a sickly gray, a clear sign of emotional turmoil among her species. "Please," the Queen's voice resonated through the translation implants everyone wore. "My daughter Anna is of age. She must bond within the lunar cycle, or our bloodline's connection to the crystal nexus will sever forever. I have offered generous trade agreements, territorial concessions, even access to our quantum archives. Yet no one steps forward." Jack had heard the rumors, of course. Princess Anna was considered cursed. 3 years ago, her psychic abilities had manifested in an unprecedented surge during her coming-of-age ceremony, accidentally destroying an entire wing of the palace and injuring dozens of courtiers. Since then, her power had only grown more unstable. The Zephyrian nobles whispered that bonding with Anna meant inevitable death. The Krillian ambassador had politely declined, citing incompatible neural pathways. The Thraxian prince had simply laughed and walked away. Even the desperate lower houses kept their distance. Jack watched as Anna herself stood beside her mother, her head bowed in shame. Unlike other Zephyrians whose crystalline forms reflected light in dazzling patterns, Anna's body seemed to absorb it, creating an unsettling shadow effect. Her face, humanoid enough that Jack could read the expression, showed a mixture of humiliation and resigned despair. "This is painful to watch," Commander Rodriguez whispered beside Jack, "but it's not our problem. We're here for the dilithium trade negotiations, nothing more." Jack nodded absently, but something gnawed at him. He'd been studying Zephyrian culture for 6 months, preparing for this diplomatic mission. He knew what would happen if Anna didn't bond. Without a mate to help channel and stabilize her powers, she would eventually lose control completely. The resulting psychic explosion would devastate the capital city and kill thousands. More than that, though, Jack saw something in Anna's eyes that transcended species. The look of someone who'd been told their entire life that they were dangerous, unwanted, a burden. He'd worn that same expression once, back on Earth, after the incident that had left his team dead and him as the sole survivor. Dangerous, they'd called him. Unstable. It had taken years before anyone trusted him with responsibility again. The Queen's voice broke. "If no one comes forward by sunset, I will have no choice but to order Anna into isolation exile. She will spend the rest of her existence alone in the void monasteries, slowly losing her mind as her powers consume her." The hall remained silent. Nobles studied their feet. Diplomats suddenly found their datapads fascinating. Jack's feet moved before his brain caught up. "I'll do it." The words cut through the hall like a plasma blade. Every eye and several eye stalks turned toward him. Commander Rodriguez grabbed his arm. "Morgan, have you lost your mind? You're human. The bonding process requires psychic compatibility. It could kill you." Jack gently pulled free. "It could, but doing nothing definitely kills her." He walked forward, each step echoing in the suddenly silent chamber. Queen Velshara's crystalline features arranged themselves in an expression of shock. "Human, you understand what you offer. The bonding is permanent. You would be tied to my daughter for life." And the process, he hesitated. "Humans have no natural psychic abilities. The compatibility rate would be less than 3%, Jack finished. "I know. I read the cultural database." He finally stood before Anna, meeting her eyes. Up close he could see they weren't entirely black, they swirled with deep purples and blues, like nebulae. "But 3% isn't zero." Anna stared at him. Why, her voice was barely a whisper. "You don't know me. You owe me nothing." Jack smiled sadly. "Because I know what it's like to be powerful and afraid of yourself. To have everyone look at you and see only danger." He extended his hand, a human gesture she probably didn't understand. "And because someone once gave me a second chance when I didn't deserve one." The Queen's voice trembled. "Human Jack, if you truly mean this, the ceremony must happen now, before you reconsider." "I won't reconsider." What followed was a blur. The ceremonial chamber, deep beneath the palace. Ancient machines humming to life, devices that hadn't been activated in centuries. Anna's hand cooler than human skin, but not unpleasantly so, gripping his with desperate strength. The High Priestess chanted in old Zephyrian words that predated space travel. Energy began to build in the chamber, making Jack's hair stand on end. "This will hurt," Anna whispered to him. "I figured." Then her power hit him like a tidal wave. Jack's consciousness exploded outward. He felt Anna's mind, vast, chaotic, beautiful, and terrifying all at once. Memories not his own flooded through him. A child accidentally shattering her favorite toy with a thought. A teenager watching friends back away in fear. The crushing loneliness of being too dangerous to touch, and his own memories flowed into her. The mission gone wrong. The guilt, the isolation, the slow crawl back to trusting himself. The pain was indescribable. Every nerve felt like it was being rewritten, his brain stretching to accommodate something it was never designed to hold. He heard someone screaming and realized it was him, but underneath the agony, something else emerged. Recognition. Understanding. Two broken people who'd been told they were too damaged to deserve connection, finding each other across the vast emptiness of space. The energy reached a crescendo and settled. Jack opened his eyes. He was on his knees, Anna supporting him, but he could feel it now, a thread connecting them, a channel through which her vast power could flow and ground itself harmlessly, not controlling her, not diminishing her strength, but giving it direction. The High Priestess's voice shook with awe. The bond it holds, unprecedented. Anna's crystalline form began to glow, not with the chaotic energy of before, but with a steady, beautiful light. She looked at Jack with wonder. I can feel you, your mind. It's so quiet, peaceful, and yours is like standing in the middle of a star. Jack managed to rasp out, but I can handle it. Queen Velshara wept openly, her tears forming tiny crystals that chimed as they hit the floor. You have saved my daughter. You have saved our world. The human race will forever have the friendship of Zephyrus Prime. Commander Rodriguez appeared in the doorway. Jack, what the hell did you just do? Jack looked at Anna, still glowing beside him, and felt the bond between them strange, unprecedented, but somehow right. Made a friend, he said simply. Humanity's good at that.